Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. This is a review from a friend, so that's super neat. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, though? It happens to be my Paragon shirt, which actually has to do with the review and the friend who gave me the item. But what is Paragon? Paragon was, sadly, past tense, really phenomenal local band out of Illinois that I became aware of and affiliated with back in my early to mid-20s, somewhere around there. They were opening up for a band that I was there to see. I really enjoyed their set. I ended up kind of chatting a little bit with the lead singer afterwards. He gave me a copy of their CD for free. And, I mean, here we are well over a decade later, and, like, I literally was just hanging out with him and the drummer yesterday. And then eventually they did move on, became a three-piece band called Easy S, which is their current incarnation. So the bassist was also there as well, and forgot to mention him. Hi, Paul. He watches my videos sometimes. But, yeah. They're all extremely good dudes. They've all been very supportive of me and my channel and doing what I do. And, yeah, absolutely check out their stuff. I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as any of Paragon or Easy S's music is available. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, this was a gift from the lead singer, a guy named Nate, who is just an absolutely stellar human being. And he watches my videos. Appreciate you, buddy, seriously. And he went over there and he's like, I found a thing, I think you're gonna love it. So he gave it to me as a gift, and I decided, I'll tag it in as a review. And folks, it looks pretty fancy. It's boom! It's from Virgil's, which is probably my favorite root beer company. This is their special edition Bavarian Nutmeg root beer. Ooh, it's super duper fancy looking. It's even got the cool top. So yeah, man, I mean, folks, if you watch the channel, you know I love root beer. I, in fact, have an entire playlist called Root Beer Reviews, which is just a playlist of root beer reviews. And I love me some Virgils. So let's get a thing for the thing here. Kind of like something like that. Ha 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 ha. And then maybe we'll do something like this. Maybe that'll work a little bit better. Ha 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 ha. We'll compare and contrast later on. Let's go ahead and open it up and give it a go. Open. Open. There we go. Oh, there we go. All right. I always love these Nito caps, the old-timey ones. Surprisingly, not as much fragrance as I was expecting. Virgil's usually has, but let's give it a go. Oh, god damn, that's a good root beer. Soon as that hit my freaking tongue, man, it was just like, root beer. Oh, I like that a lot. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Virgil's. I still remember, it was several years, more than several now. It was quite a few years ago now. I went over there, first time I ever had Virgil's, I stopped off at a gas station, and they had this little cooler set off to the side with some premium sodas. And I got myself a bottle of Virgil's root beer, and I was like, I did not realize at that point that root beer could be that complex and that delicious. As much as I love so many other root beers, like, it took it to a new level for me. And this definitely continues that. Oh, that tastes like a root beer. It's... The thing I really like about Virgil's, well, two things. So, when it comes to root beers, commercial root beers. There's sort of two sort of camps in my opinion. On the one hand, you have like the sweeter root beers that kind of work better for everybody, which would be like your Mug and your A&W. Very popular, obviously very successful. On the other hand, you have the root beers that work a little bit more for me. They're a little bit harsher, have a little bit more of that root beer flavor I'm looking for, like your Barks and your Dads. You know, I'm definitely more in the Barks and Dads camp. I want a root beer that's got depth, it has some darkness to it. You know, I want some stuff, man. You know, something that really feels like a root beer. And Virgil's does that. And then on top of that, they have a nice complexity to their flavor. I've often referred to it when I've been like recommending Virgils to people. It's a sipping root beer, which sounds weird, but like it's not something you want to just swig back because you're going to be missing a lot of the intricacies of the flavor. Because you can taste there's like an aniseed kind of flavor to it. Again, you have like the nutmeg flavor. Now, mind you, can I tell the difference between like a Bavarian nutmeg and any? No, I'm not that guy. But you can definitely tell. You know, it's been a little bit since I've had just some normal Virgils, but well, it's not that long. Few months. This is definitely a slightly more premium version of that. You know, it has a lot of the same flavor notes and everything, but it just feels elevated on pretty much every scale. And like I said, it's got that depth to it. It's one of those root beers where if you enjoy that flavor, you want to savor that flavor. You want to let it linger on your tongue for a little bit. Let it just sort of, again, just wrap yourself in the depth and complexity that it has so you can fully experience everything that's going on with it. And yeah, that's what a premium root beer should do, in my opinion. I think, like I said, I think Virgil's absolutely hits the nail on the head. I don't think I've ever had a soda from them I didn't like. Some more than others, but their root beer is just, it's pretty much the freaking tops, in my opinion. And yeah, again, aniseedy, got a little bit of that sweet kind of earthiness from the nutmeg, and it tastes like a root beer, you know? Now, the only thing I would say in terms of personal preference for me when it comes to a root beer, I wish it had just slightly more bite, because I do like a root beer that has like a strong bite to it. Virgil's has a bite to it, but because it has so much other stuff going on, I think they sacrifice a little bit of the bite so that you get that, you know, that added complexity, and you're allowed to really enjoy the flavors. But yeah, that's definitely a fucking hit for me. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Absolutely and absolutely. Thank you to my friend Nate. Again, dude, seriously, you know, you're an awesome guy, and then on top of that, you know, you're helping out the show a little bit, so I always appreciate that. But yeah, man, I would definitely get this again. You know, like I said, I've enjoyed pretty much whenever I've run into like Virgil's like special batch stuff that they've done. I think I've pretty much always enjoyed it. I wish it was a little bit more available. That's probably the only point of contention I run into. You do tend to have to go to like specialty shops. I think, I'm not sure, because I know that Nate sometimes he'll go to like Cracker Barrel, you know, like their in-house store that they have. I'm not sure if he got this there or someplace else. I forget if he told me. But, I mean, it's Virgil's. I knew I was going to love it from the moment I came into it. It really was just how much was I going to love it. And I loved it a lot. It was super tasty. It does everything I want a root beer to do. And it's a root beer that tastes special, you know? It's not just all pomp and circumstance with a nice bottle and everything. It tastes like a premium root beer. And I would definitely get it again. If I'm recommending it, I mean, here's the thing. Is it going to be a root beer for everybody? No, it's just not. You have to like root beer. And I'm not trying to be a gatekeeping dick about it. If you enjoy Mug, if you enjoy A&W, and I enjoy Mug and A&W, by the way. But if that's more your style, this won't be. I'm not saying don't try it. If you're interested, absolutely give it a go. But it is definitely not that same type of root beer. You know, it has that more somewhat old school style root beer. And again, it's just not going to be for everybody. But I think if you're somebody who enjoys some root beer, I think you'll really enjoy it. Like, And I know that, and from just personal experience, uh, I have gone over there and I've shared Virgil's, even just the normal stuff with friends and family who are big fans of root beer who hadn't had it, and everyone has agreed, that it is some freaking top-notch stuff. So I think if you have the opportunity to try yourself some Virgils in general, do so. And if you can get the premium stuff, that's even nicer. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year, folks. Go over there yourselves a truly root beer-tastic rest of your life. Because when it's root beer, it's always root beer-tastic. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to go out and do. In honor of this wonderful gift that has been gifted to me by my wonderful friend Nate. Always appreciate your friends and the people who are there for you in your life. Seriously. I personally could not have made it to where I am right now in my life if I hadn't had the support of so many wonderful people. And different people have different philosophies on it. Lots of people I've talked to, they have that whole move in silence, do your own. If that works for you, I'm not going to shit on you. But I will tell you this, again, for me personally, that never would have worked. If it wasn't for the fact that I went over there and I've been able to amass, this culmination of so many incredible people, and I like to think that I make up for it in some way, but the fact of the matter is I can never make up for it fully in terms of all that they've done for me. And, this is a prime example of that, just fortunate circumstances, meeting incredible people, and then just make sure, again, that, you appreciate them. So, anyway,